stop. I need you to stop everything right now. Not in a minute, not after you finish what you are doing. Right now, this exact second, close your other tabs. Put your phone on silent. Turn off that noise in the background, because what I am about to reveal to you in the next 15 minutes will either change your entire existence, or you will scroll away and wonder for the rest of your life what you just missed. And I am telling you right now, chosen one, some doors only open once. This is not a message for everyone. Let me be brutally clear about that. This is not for the curious. This is not for people who collect information but never take action. This is not for those still pretending their life is fine when everything inside them is screaming that something massive is about to shift. This message is only for you. The one who has been waking up at 3:33 a.m. for weeks now. The one whose body has been feeling electric, exhausted, and awakened all at once. The one who survived things that should have destroyed them. Who kept going when quitting made more sense. Who chose silence when everyone expected them to break down. Who walked through fires alone while the world watched and wondered why they wouldn't burn. For you, chosen one, the universe has been preparing this moment since before you were born, and heaven just gave me permission to tell you everything. Listen very carefully now, because there are truths that couldn't be spoken to you before. Not because you weren't ready, not because you weren't chosen, but because the revelation would have crushed you before you developed the spiritual spine to carry its weight. You had to break first. You had to bleed. You had to lose everything you thought defined you. You had to stand in the ashes of your old life and rebuild yourself from nothing. You had to become someone who couldn't be shaken by what I am about to reveal. And now, finally, you are. Think about Moses. God spoke to him through a burning bush. But that conversation didn't happen when Moses was a prince in Egypt's palace. It happened after he murdered a man, fled to the desert, spent 40 years herding sheep in complete obscurity. Why? Because the Moses in the palace wasn't ready to lead millions out of bondage. The Moses in the desert, broken, humbled, transformed, he was. The same is true for you. Heaven has been silent, not to punish you. Not because your prayers weren't heard, but because you were in the desert being forged into someone capable of carrying what is coming. Every betrayal, every loss, every moment you felt abandoned by God. It was the fire that burned away everything that wasn't truly you. You thought those were your worst moments. They were actually your preparation. Here is what heaven needs you to understand right now. Are you listening? Really listening? You were never fighting to survive. You were being sculpted for dominion. Every single thing that tried to destroy you, every door that slammed in your face when breakthrough felt certain, every person who betrayed you, every dream that died, every night you cried until you couldn't breathe, none of it was random. None of it was wasted. None of it was punishment. It was divine architecture. You weren't being torn down. You were being rebuilt at a molecular level. Your entire frequency was being rewired. Your spiritual DNA was being rewritten. Your soul was being upgraded to carry a level of power, authority, and purpose that your old self could never have held. And I am about to prove it to you. In the last 72 hours, something has happened to you that you cannot quite explain. Maybe it was a dream so vivid, you woke up convinced it was real. Maybe it was a stranger who looked directly at you and said something that felt like it was meant only for you. Maybe it was a song that played at the exact moment you were thinking about giving up. Maybe it was a number sequence. 11, 11, 444, 777, that you have seen so many times, it is starting to feel like a message. You thought those were coincidences. They weren't. They were confirmations that you have crossed a threshold, you have entered a new dimension, and the old rules no longer apply to you. Let me show you exactly what is happening inside you right now, because most people are experiencing these symptoms and have absolutely no idea what they mean. For weeks now, maybe months, your body has been acting strange. Your sleep schedule is completely disrupted. You are exhausted but cannot sleep, or you are sleeping 12 hours and waking up more tired than when you went to bed. Your emotions are raw, unpredictable. Things that never bothered you before now drain you instantly. Conversations that used to feel normal now feel suffocating. Places you used to love now feel heavy. People you used to tolerate now feel toxic. You thought something was wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. You are shedding, like a snake shedding skin that no longer fits, like a caterpillar dissolving into liquid before the butterfly emerges. Right now, your old identity, your old frequency, your old way of being in the world is dying, and it is fighting for survival. That is why you feel like you are losing your mind. You are not losing your mind. You are losing your limitations. Your body is rejecting what your soul has outgrown. That is why toxic people feel heavier around you now. That is why small talk feels like torture. That is why scrolling social media makes you feel sick. That is why you are craving silence, solitude, stillness. Your spirit is screaming for space because heaven is trying to download instructions and there is too much interference. Let me break down the 3 layers of what is actually happening to you right now. Layer 1, the energetic shift. Your entire energetic field is being recalibrated. You used to operate on AM frequency, fuzzy, inconsistent, picking up everyone else's static. Now God is shifting you to FEM, crystal clear, undeniable, unshakable. This is why your boundaries are suddenly non-negotiable. This is why you are saying no to things you used to say yes to. This is why people are confused by you. You are not being difficult. You are vibrating at a frequency most people will never reach. Layer 2, the soul recalibration. This is where God dissolves old contracts you made in fear, in trauma, in survival mode. Soul agreements you signed when you didn't know your worth, patterns you inherited from your family line, curses you unknowingly carried. Heaven is breaking them all, and it hurts. Because before God transforms you, He uproots you before He elevates you. He empties you before metamorphosis. There must be dissolution. You are in the liquid stage right now, uncomfortable, confusing, terrifying, but absolutely necessary. That feeling of not knowing who you are anymore. That is not a crisis. That is a chrysalis. Layer 3. The assignment activation. Your phase 1 mission is complete. God's not taking it away from you. He is graduating you. The reason your old passions feel empty, the reason your previous dreams feel too small, the reason nothing from your past life fits anymore, it is not failure, it is promotion. You have been cleared for a new level that requires a completely different version of you. And here is where it gets specific. Here is where I am going to give you dates, times, instructions that you need to write down and follow exactly. The 14th of February, 15th and 16th, 2026. Those aren't random dates, those are heaven's coordinates. A 72-hour portal that opens once every 7 years, 3 consecutive days where the veil between the natural and supernatural becomes paper thin. Where divine downloads become accessible, where spiritual promotions get locked in. The 14th represents the death of the old. The 15th represents the transitional void. The 16th represents the birth of the new. God doesn't work in coincidence. He works in patterns, in sequences, in mathematical precision, and these 3 days have been marked on heaven's calendar since before you were born. Now, I need you to understand something critical. What I am about to tell you is going to sound impossible. Your logical mind is going to reject it, but your spirit already knows it is true. You are going to feel it in your body as I speak it. You are not just entering a new season. You are entering a different dimension entirely. Doors are about to open that no human can close. Not because you are perfect, not because you earned it, but because you stayed faithful when faithfulness made zero logical sense. You chose character when chaos was easier. You chose growth when revenge was available. You chose silence when defense was justified. And that choice echoed through realms you cannot see. Heaven responded. A new protocol has been activated over your life. A higher level of protection, a higher level of provision, a higher level of provision, a higher level of authority, a higher level of access. Angels that had been assigned to you in one capacity were reassigned, and new angels, higher ranking, more powerful, more specialized, took their place. You cannot fight tomorrow's battles with yesterday's weapons, and you cannot step into next-level destiny with entry-level angels. Here is how you know this is true. The attacks you have been facing lately are different than they used to be, more sophisticated, more targeted, more personal. The enemy isn't using the same old tricks because those don't work on the new you anymore. So he has had to upgrade his strategy, which means you have become a bigger threat, which means you are carrying something more valuable, which means the breakthrough on the other side of this warfare is more significant than anything you have experienced before. Think about David before Goliath. He fought a lion and a bear in private. Nobody knew, nobody celebrated, nobody saw him rip those beasts apart with his bare hands to protect his father's sheep. Those were character-building battles, anointing-proving battles, preparation battles. Goliath was public. Goliath was the battle that would define him, launch him, prove to an entire nation that God's hand was on his life. You have been fighting lions and bears in private, battles nobody saw, victories nobody celebrated, tests nobody knew you were taking, and you passed them, you conquered them, you survived them. Now you are standing in front of your Goliath moment, the public breakthrough, the visible victory, the undeniable evidence that everything you went through was preparing you for this. But here is what most people miss about the David and Goliath story. David didn't defeat Goliath because he was bigger, stronger, or more experienced. He defeated Goliath because he learned something in the private battles that nobody else knew. He learned that God fights for those who trust him completely. He learned that obedience is more powerful than sacrifice. He learned that the weapons the world respects mean nothing when heaven is on your side. You learned the same lessons in your private battles, in your silent struggles, in your dark nights. And now it is time for those lessons to pay off publicly. Let me paint you a picture of what your life is going to look like 6 months from now if you fully surrender to what is happening. You are going to wake up one morning and not recognize your own life, not in a bad way, in an overwhelming, humbling, how did I get here kind of way. The problems that are consuming you today will not even exist. The people who drain you now will not have access to you. The confusion you are drowning in will be replaced with crystal clarity. The doors that are closed now will not only be open, you will have walked through them so completely. You will barely remember when they were closed. Your income will shift. Not because you hustled harder, but because you aligned deeper. Your relationships will shift. Not because you became pickier, But because your frequency changed and only people vibrating at your level can stay close now, your health will shift, not because of a diet, but because your body finally released the stress it was holding from fighting battles that were never yours to fight. Your entire life is about to testify to the goodness of God in a way that will make people ask, "What happened to you?" And you will not even know how to explain it, because it will not be something you did. It will be something God did through your willingness to let go of who you were to become who you were always meant to be. But I need to warn you about something, because with great blessing comes great warfare. The enemy knows what is coming for you. That is why the attacks have been relentless. That is why the spiritual warfare has felt unbearable. You are about to step into a level of authority, influence, and impact that hell itself is terrified of. Before you get there, the enemy is going to throw everything he has left at you. Not to stop you. He cannot. But to make you stop yourself, to make you doubt, to make you quit before you see the manifestation. Don't give him that satisfaction. Every attack is confirmation you are on the right path. Every spiritual battle is proof something significant is coming. The enemy doesn't waste ammunition on people who aren't a threat. If he is fighting you this hard, it is because he knows what you are carrying. And here is something powerful. The intensity of the warfare is directly proportional to the magnitude of the breakthrough. The harder the battle, the bigger the blessing waiting on the other side. So when you feel attacked, don't shrink, don't retreat, don't question if you are doing something wrong. Stand taller, pray louder, worship harder, because you are closer than you think. Now let me tell you what you need to do on the 14th of February, 15th and 16th. This is not optional if you want to lock in what heaven is releasing. Day 1, the 14th of February, silence and surrender. This is the day you let the old you die. Minimize your words, maximize your awareness. Don't fill the day with noise, people, distractions. Create space. Heaven is going to speak, but he whispers. If you are surrounded by chaos, you will miss it. Move through your day with intentional awareness. When thoughts come, don't dismiss them. When ideas surface, write them down. When you feel pulled toward something or away from something, honor it. This is the day you say goodbye to the version of you that got you here. Thank them, release them, let them go. Day 2, the 15th of February, the void and the vision. This is the most uncomfortable day. You are going to feel empty, lost, in between. That is exactly where you are supposed to be. The void is not a punishment. It is a womb. This is where the new you is being formed. On this day, fast, not just from food, though that is powerful if you can. Fast from social media, fast from other people's voices. Fast from anything that pulls you back into the old frequency. In the silence, the vision will come. Not in a loud voice. In a knowing, in a clarity that settles in your spirit like snow falling. Don't force it, don't chase it. Just be still and watch it arrive. Day 3, the 16th of February, declaration and activation. This is the day you seal it. This is the day you speak your new reality into existence. Gratitude locks in what God releases. Declaration activates what God promises. Write down everything you are believing for. Not what you think is realistic, what heaven showed you in the void. Then speak it out loud. Thank God for it, as if it already happened. This isn't positive thinking, this is spiritual law. Faith calls things that are not as though they were. When you combine gratitude with declaration, you create a frequency that collapses time and pulls the future into the present. Now I already know what some of you are thinking. What if I don't feel anything on those days? What if nothing happens? What if this is just another spiritual letdown? Let me address that right now. If you are asking those questions, you are still operating from the old paradigm where God has to prove himself to you before you obey. That mindset is exactly what has been keeping you stuck. The new paradigm is this: you move in faith. God confirms in manifestation, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel something before you obey. You obey, and then the shift happens, and here is the truth that will set you free. The shift has already happened. You are just now becoming conscious of it. The 14th of February, 15th and 16th isn't when the change occurs. It is when you fully step into the change that already occurred. You already crossed the threshold. You already entered the new dimension. You just haven't realized it yet because your mind is still catching up to where your spirit already is. Let me prove it to you. Think about the last 30 days. Really think. Haven't there been moments where you felt different? Where you responded to a situation in a way that surprised even you? Where you walked away from something the old you would have clung to? Where you spoke truth when the old you would have stayed silent? Where you chose peace when the old you would have chosen war? Those weren't accidents. Those weren't good days. Those weren't temporary bursts of strength. Those were glimpses of the new you breaking through the surface. And what is about to happen on the 14th of February, 15th and 16th is the new you becomes permanent. No longer glimpses, no longer flashes. It becomes your default, your new normal, your operating system. Here is another confirmation. People in your life have started treating you differently, haven't they? Some pulled away without explanation. Some became hostile for no reason. Some started asking questions they never asked before, looking at you like they are seeing someone they don't quite recognize. That is not your imagination. That is them responding to your frequency change. People sense when someone is operating at a different level, even if they cannot articulate it, and they respond in one of two ways. They either rise to meet you there, or they distance themselves because your new frequency makes them uncomfortable. Don't chase the ones who pull away. Don't try to convince them. Don't dim your light to make them comfortable. Let them go, because the ones who are meant to walk with you in this next season will be attracted to exactly what is making others uncomfortable. Your tribe is shifting. Your circle is being refined. Your connections are being upgraded. Now, let me tell you about something that happened in the spiritual realm that you need to know about. About 4 months ago, there was a shift in the heavenlies. A changing of the guard. Old assignments ended. New assignments began. Angels who had been protecting you in one capacity were reassigned, and new angels, higher ranking, carrying different weapons, took their place. Why? Because you graduated to a new level that required a different kind of protection, a different kind of guidance, a different kind of warfare strategy. You cannot fight tomorrow's battles with yesterday's weapons, and you cannot step into next-level destiny with entry-level angels. God upgraded your team in the supernatural because He knew what you were walking into. And here is how you know this is real. The spiritual attacks you have been facing lately are different than before. More sophisticated, more targeted, more surgical. The enemy isn't using the same old tricks anymore because those don't work on the new you. So he had to upgrade his strategy, which means you became a bigger threat, which means you are carrying something more dangerous to his kingdom, which means the breakthrough on the other side of this warfare is more massive than anything you have experienced before. Remember Esther. She was an orphan, hidden, unknown. But when the time came, she was positioned as queen for such a time as this, not for her comfort, for her purpose. To save an entire nation from destruction, she had to risk everything. Her position, her safety, her life. One decision. If I perish, I perish. You have been hidden, unknown, overlooked. But positioning is happening right now. You are being placed exactly where you need to be for such a time as this, not for your comfort, for your calling. And like Esther, there is going to come a moment where you have to risk everything, where you have to step forward even though it terrifies you, where you have to speak even though your voice shakes, where you have to move even though you cannot see the entire path. That moment is coming soon. Maybe it is already here when it comes. Remember this: you were not brought this far to be forgotten. You were not protected through everything you survived just to be abandoned now. You were not given a vision just to watch it die. If God gave you the dream, He will make a way for the manifestation. But here is what you need to understand. Manifestation requires participation. Faith without works is dead. You cannot just sit back and wait for heaven to drop blessings in your lap while you do nothing. God moves when you move. He parts the Red Sea after you step in.